Bernard, good afternoon. It has been quite a week from last week up until now. You have followed matters. In fact, you've been in the compound of the Lagos State House of Assembly. Could you give us a detailed account of everything that's happened from today up until now?
All right, Mazino, a very good afternoon to you. It is, and I believe that today is the day that will go down in history, not just in Lagos State, but across the country generally. Yes, like you've seen, just like you would see in a movie, if you want to put it that way. We have been following proceedings all through from last week up until now. And yes, eventually our speculations were correct. Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa has stepped in as the 10th Speaker of the Lagos House of Assembly, and Honorable Mojisola Meranda has stepped down. She resigned as a speaker and is now the deputy speaker of the House of Assembly. We also did see some, shake up here and there. We saw some other members from their positions, I'll go through that list again and then we'll get to see those ones. But definitely there was, some shake up eventually. So I'll run through, I'll say the list of events as we had it this morning. Very, very early this morning, we were present at the gates of the Lagos State House of Assembly, and we saw security operatives here in larger numbers than what we had last week Thursday. As a matter of fact, than what we've had all through the week leading up until today, based on speculations that what you saw was going to happen, and it did eventually happen. We also did hear earlier today on radio that the acting clerk stated that workers of the House of Assembly should work from home today because we're not sure of what exactly was going to go on. But eventually, there were workers that you started driving in and coming in ones and twos, and that the security checks was more, more than what we had before. We had vehicles had to be opened, their trunks had to be opened, people had to be checked, and then different roads leading to the House of Assembly was cordoned off eventually. Well, long and short of the story is, eventually there was a proceeding here presided by Honorable Mojisola Meranda. Certain people stepped down from their positions. Other people were nominated to take over those positions and did take over. And then finally, Honorable Mojisola Meranda, being the last person to step down from her position, she resigned as the Speaker of the House of Assembly. And, well, as I mentioned earlier, now the 10th Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly has taken his seat in the person of Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa.
Now, Bernard, you said something. You actually indicated that we're watching history being made. History would, it would depend which chapter you're reading from, whose book you're reading, actually. So what was the countenance of the majority of the lawmakers as Honorable Mudashiru Obasa was returned as a speaker? Also noting the reaction that we got from most of them from last week, what was it like, the atmosphere and the countenance of these lawmakers as he returned?
First of all, let me say that I think I found out the reason why the chamber is called the Hallowed Chambers. It was very quiet and very solemn on the inside of the Hallowed Chambers, so to speak. We had different people, first of all, speak and shower encomium on Mojisola Meranda just before she stepped down. Several honorable members, spoke about the things she had done, spoke about how she had been such an eloquent leader, how she had this family mentality, so to speak, and she carried all of them along with everything she did, regardless of how short her spell was, and then Honorable Right Honorable, as he now is the Speaker, was there on the bylines. It was almost like a script that was being played out, So again, it was quite quiet. It was very hollow. That's how it's supposed to be anyway. There were no, there was nobody holding back. There was nobody causing any issues. It was just basically like the procedure and the proceedings had to flow as best it should. It almost was like it was a script that had been written and just waiting to be played out anyway. So there was no, there was no apprehension. There were no issues, even by some of the honorables who as at last week, said we reject Obasa. I remember I saw the face of Honorable Desmond Elliott of Surulere constituency, if I'm not mistaken. He was one of those on that clip last week, Thursday, when our colleague Bettina Unweli was interviewing them. He was one of those saying we reject, Obasa. Anyway, what I can remember him doing today was shower encomium on Honorable Meranda. And that's the most that they did. Nobody rejected anybody. Nobody threw any tantrum. Nobody made any or did anything wrong, basically. It was a smooth process. Again, as I mentioned before, it was like a script that was written, just, waiting to be played out.
I was actually going to say it seemed rather plastic, plenty of rhetoric regarding peace, but it still had a very deep undertone, depending how you looked at it, especially if you followed the story from last week or even January 14th. How is it that it was impossible for you to speak with any of the lawmakers, please? Were they so swift to disperse?
Well, I think, first of all, as Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa did say while he was, just after he swore the oath to become the 10th Speaker of the House of Assembly, he said today is not a day for long speeches, that there will be time for that. But today was just the day to congratulate everybody and to thank those who played their part in everything that has happened. And I think the other lawmakers told that part as well, feeling that today is not a day of long speeches. There eventually will be time to speak. I think everybody is playing the waiting game, seeing who will speak first, or perhaps waiting for the new speaker to be the one to speak first. I mean, he is the speaker anyway. So maybe after he has eventually broken the silence, then we will begin to hear from others if eventually they would want to speak. But I do hope that they get, that they get to say something, because there's a lot to say. There's a lot to be said. Honorable Sir, I want to see if we can get some of the honorables to speak. I doubt if that will happen, but we will try. Now he has shaken his head. He said he's not going to speak. He shook his head right now. I said no, he's not going to speak. So it's still the same thing. None of them is speaking just yet. Again, I believe that after Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa would have broken the silence and spoken, then maybe we would have other honorables, handle the microphone and speak to the press.
Well, Bernard, I want to say thank you for all the efforts since last Thursday. Please do come back before you become a permanent fixture there at the Lagos State Assembly complex. Thank you. We'll be expecting to see you, but please bring back more footages of everything that's been happening. Thank you very much, and thank you to everybody who's been staying tuned to see the processes that have been happening inside the Lagos State House of Assembly, as we've just seen the return of the Speaker. That is none other than Honorable Mudashiru Obasa as the Lagos State Speaker. They're donning a very interesting #1 hat with corresponding lilac shirt. Very interesting. Well, we'll be bringing you more. Do stay tuned. This is News Central. My name is Mazino Appeal. And that's all this hour. Do remember, you can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Able TV, and of course on YouTube.